Yes, welcome back to Footy and Friends. Hey, big episode today, but before we get into those things, we have a big thank you to some new Faffers on our Patreon for our exclusive content, behind-the-scenes footage. You get your keyring with your number joining, and a big thank you to these legends. Jackson Crawford, might be Shane's son, Jack Tassari, Connor, Sam, Azza, the best PT in Perth, and Trent Wright, your absolute weapons. We appreciate your love and support. If you want to join the Faffers, head to the link in the show notes or on Patreon/Footy and Friends. You can see Mack's new trench coat that he wore at the races this weekend. Let's go. Yes, welcome back to Footy and Friends. This episode is brought to you by our good mates at Carlton Dry, the official beer of the AFL. How are you, Brett? You well?
Mate, I'm good. But good to be back. I missed you last week.
I missed you last week.
Yeah, I thought Tom, he will look comfortable, but I'm pretty happy to be back.
Did you listen to the episode with Tom? No. Well, he was actually pretty good.
Mate, he's one of the best. Yeah, he really good fella. Obviously had his game for Beaufort in the Carlton draft. Mine's coming up.
Yep.
I am absolutely shitting myself about that. I'm just hoping that the body holds up for me.
Go on you, Brett. I'm sure you will. You're a great person, and I'm sure your body will.
That comes into it, doesn't it? Yeah, the body really says, oh, you're a good person. Out you go. You'll be fine.
Brownlows were on Good Blokes, mate, I'd have 6 of them. Anyway, let's move on to our guest. Dyson Heppell. Hey, Dyso.
Yeah, still going well, mate.
Apologies in advance, mate. We're a bit all over the shop today, and we don't. Mick's normally our one that sort of reins us in.
Yeah, what's he done? Where is he?
He's over in. You know how North keeps selling their games. He's over in WA. I think he's in Bunbury or something.
Yeah, 1 from 1 though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat the Eagles over there. If you didn't catch that game on the weekend, you see that one?
I missed that one, mate.
Yeah. You'll fit in very well.
No, very good. I don't even know what we're here for, but we'll chew the fat.
You'll fit in well. How's life for you, mate? You at Port Melbourne, obviously H, and then you went and played at Leongatha on the weekend.
The Parrots.
Didn't have any bloody mushroom.
Why? Because it's down Gippsland.
We're right in the guts of that at the moment.
We are. We're in
Leongatha. Our mushroom lady's put us on the map, actually.
She has.
Going well though, mate. I'm good. I'm really enjoying my time down at Port. Sort of a little transition post-retirement, and we had a nasty start. We went 0-4, and then we didn't lose for a month, so we're actually tracking all right at the moment, thereabouts. And then went for a little run down at Leongatha. We had the bye with Port Melbourne on the weekend, down at the Parrots on Saturday, and we knocked off one Thaggy. Bit of a rivalry there, so that was we hate those dogs. So it was bloody good fun. Bit of claret, I caught one little stray one on the eyebrow and opened me up. So always nice to get back to the home ground.
Is that a love job, or is that they at least fill the car for you?
Bit of both. Bit of both.
Yeah,
little from Colin.
Don't worry about that.
So what? You can't love something and get
looked after,
remunerated for it as well.
Well, no,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but all seriousness, so it was very much a love job. I'd played back, played one earlier this year, first time I'd ever played with my little brother with Leongatha, and still got a few mates that I played like literally under 12
it's awesome.
with them. So all good, and then otherwise H going well too, mate. Digging into that, been fun.
Hey, just quickly on H before we'll talk about it a bit today, but I've got something for you because ours. You met Mack, right?
Yeah.
You reckon he's a good looking bloke?
Max or Roos,
That's never
heard of that.
What's happening?
Let me show you this video of Mack on the weekend. Let me know. He went to the races there, Mack. What was it, Swan Hill?
Yeah, Swan Hill Cup.
Yeah, Swan Hill Cup.
Swan Hill Cup.
Swan Hill Cup. So what's the dress code there? Just dress to impress? Or?
Oh, yeah. Just
those red shoes make it, did they?
No, had some nice black. It's just racing attire.
Racing attire, okay. I'll give you a look at Max because I've got a video here of him getting some selfies at the races. Okay. So he's got some fans up there at Swan Hill. And just let me know what you think of this. What you think of the kit that he's rocking here.
Oh, no, it was good.
Look at the big brown overcoat there.
Ron Burgundy.
Wow, hey. What do you think of that big brown overcoat, the trench? What is that?
Fucking freezing in Swan
He's
Hill.
got the big brown coat. Link, have a look at this big brown overcoat he's rocking at there.
It's tough. What do you mean? It looks sick.
Is that? One of the sticky bandits off Home Alone. Mate,
we're packing a bloody shotgun or something under there, brother.
Peaky Blinders stuff.
Oh my God.
Mate, it was so cold. It would have been like, it was pissing rain all
I don't
weekend.
care how cold it is. You can't be rocking a fucking brown coat like that over
Why? It
a
was
black
sick.
suit.
What do you mean? It looked boss.
Give it back to your dad, mate.
So what I was thinking was, as soon as that next, what's 3 weeks till H drops? Can we sort something with Mack and just get him to kit it out?
Well, I think we should drop a big overcoat.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Cool. They look good. I can't believe this. I thought it was nice.
Are you getting selfies on the daily, or is this a...
a bit of it on the weekend.
Yeah.
It was nice.
How many photos on the weekend?
Oh, not many photos, but like a few people
slap
who I
ups
didn't
and
know
that.
came
Yeah.
up to me and was like, oh.
Yeah.
Love the
They
podcast.
go,
Sometimes they
guys,
like
do you
they
bar
come
them
up
off?
and they don't
They
think
go,
about what they're going to say.
Hey, I didn't realise it was a dress up at the races. Is that what I'm saying?
No,
What's the theme?
mate.
Yeah, do you reckon they're going, we're sending it to their mates, going, look at this
Why
spanner.
is this bloke in a fucking overcoat?
Mate, it was fucking sick. I'm actually not
God,
copping
this
it. It was good.
Oh,
I wear
goodness
some interesting
gracious.
stuff. That was
Oh, dear.
nice.
I'm happy with that.
And it
I'm
was
very
warm.
good.
And I was warm. I was comfortable.
Yeah, well, I'm happy you're comfortable because fucking hell.
But H coming out 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Big
true.
drop.
We've got plenty of kit. Yeah, big drop coming. Yeah, H-Man's some cool little designs he's whipped up. So we've got a couple of hoodies, crew necks, more tees. Yeah, a few
Stuff's
things in the
amazing.
line,
Is
mate.
that H
There's
that?
a little sample number, so we're just on
a
the
sample, just
He's dropping it.
nice
He's
to
just
see.
throwing it
And
out
he's
there.
just test the waters.
Okay,
Yeah.
watch that out on the
I
website.
saw
We'll have it in the link.
H firsthand. You know, Dyson and I are Kabaddi teammates.
I forgot about that, I must admit.
You didn't have that in the run sheet. I
No,
can't see. I'm
I
looking
don't.
for
Go
I
on.
did forget about that.
Yeah,
I
couple of
apologise.
their
Dissect that for an hour.
a couple of our best players were there in the Kabaddi. But, you've been back, mate, doing your training, have you?
Look, I can't say I've been back on the Kabaddi mats, but it was all the rage when we were in amongst it. Mate, we were going on trips to India after that for 1 minute, but
It dropped off maybe 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
Not even
she
all
dropped off
2
pretty
days.
but no, we had a ball though. It was good fun.
You won't get Brett to India. It's too unless you can bring the kids. Can you get the kids over there?
Pack squad.
I won't be going.
Tough.
No.
Hey, before we I'm going to move on. Let's just get into the footy because it's we're teetering around.
Let's hit it.
Teetering, are we?
Teetering. Just quickly on the tips. So you weren't here, Brett.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about Brett's tips, Link?
Tomahawk tipped on behalf of
Tommy,
him.
tip for him. Okay, so
Cool.
Just says that there.
cheers. I'm 76, 73, 66. So I'm winning your second, Mick's third.
Tipping.
Because he tips North every week. He has to.
Okay.
Doesn't
I'm having
help.
a
They
Mary
actually won on the
now,
weekend,
aren't
though, Dyl.
Footy tipping
They won on the
They
weekend.
did win on the weekend, which we will get through. I was thinking, let's
Yeah.
dissect yesterday's
you wanna
game
go-
off the top, just because it's fresh in the dome.
Okay.
What'd you think of Max and Stephen May? Did you like that?
Yep.
I
100%.
liked it.
Yeah,
What'd
what? I don't know why there's been such a hoo-ha being made about it because it's just two blokes who are obviously competitive and they've got a relationship. They've played for how many years together now? Mate, geez, I've had some strong words with some teammates over the journey too. Maybe not got caught on camera, but God, I'd be lying if I didn't tell a few blokes what I thought of them.
Brett, that does not surprise me at all,
Yeah.
by the way. Dice, what do you think? As a former captain, what would you be doing? Say that was, you were you held yourself very well on the field, but two teammates do that on the field on a game, it's caught on TV. What do you do? Sort of like go into the rooms, coach address, do you hit it straight away? Do you hit it on the Monday? What happens?
I've got to be honest, I have not seen any of this. But
You haven't seen it?
We'll roll with it.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'll paint it out for you. So Max
Apologies.
Gordon's taken a huge mark, sort of everywhere at the moment. I don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're doing.
Sweet.
It's Max Gordon's taken a big mark. They've got like 35 seconds to try and get the ball down the other end
Yep.
to
He's
score.
taking it deep in 30. Like
It's in the
yeah,
back
in the
pocket.
Back pocket. Hard to
And
score from.
He's gone back, Ruckman.
Yep.
You got to
Got
score.
goal play on.
Got goal
Right.
play on. He took a couple steps off, and he's tried to bomb it just down the corridor.
Yep.
It's come off the instep of his foot.
Like trying to kick a
Turnover.
torp.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Then
maybe not the one, but that's all right.
Stephen May's come straight up to him, banged him on the chest. Not really banged him on the chest, but sort of tried to give him some feedback.
Yep.
And Max Gordon's just gone, come on, mate, and then
Yep.
pushed him away.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't look great.
Doesn't
on
look
camera.
great. No, it
Yeah,
doesn't look
fair
great.
enough. And these are the things, like that, as you say, in the heat of the moment, I'd say Maisie would want his time again in terms
Yeah.
of the way he went about it, and probably Gorney himself too. But at the same time, it's like, it's a competitive environment. Guys want to win.
Yeah.
And when it's all said and done, that's the nature of footy. Guys are competitive, and that's all it is. Like, I honestly feel people carry on too much about these type of things, and those two will get over that in no time. The
Yeah,
media will
not
carry
even
it
thought
on.
of.
Exactly.
Just didn't need maybe just a bit fresh, bit raw.
Bit raw. It was
Yeah.
a bit raw.
Oh, but what are you going to say? He's like, oh, what'd you kick it there for? Well, no
Yeah.
shit, dickhead. I'm trying to kick it too.
Brett, I feel
Yeah.
like if I did that, Brett would come and go, hey man, don't do that. I'd be like, fucking hell. You don't need to hear that right
Oh,
now, do you? It's like when the runner comes out when you fucked
I wouldn't
up.
say
you're
don't
like,
do that. I was saying, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Man, we all regret things we've said on the footy field. Let's be real. But
yes.
Yeah, it is tough now. Obviously, there's cameras bloody everywhere, so you can't do too much. But no, I'd imagine though those boys would want their time again with some of that. But
Yeah.
not
It just
to worry.
puts unnecessary heat on them, which isn't needed. But
Very true.
Turn the cameras off here again.
just go live. Hey, Brett,
Yeah.
top fives
Yeah. Well, without notice. Yeah.
without
go.
notice. Give us your most biggest punch-ons with teammates throughout the days. Who'd you go head to head with?
So I remember early
training.
days when I first got down there, and it happened quite a bit. You know, the older boys, as a young bloke, you come in. Chris Hyde actually he was running down. I went in to pick up the ball, and he's just coming, just goes bang in the ribs. And I was just like, you dirty! I couldn't believe he just give me a smack. Brush it off because everyone's like, toughen up, let's just keep going. But me and Andrew Rains used to go head to head, like just he did competitive bugger, wanted to fight and scrap. Comes rip shorts, rip tops, and I just get to the point where I was just like, right, we're wrestling. That's it. We'll just have a go. And down we go, and Plough be blowing the whistle. You two, let's get going, footy. But mate, I didn't have a top 5. I don't reckon. Not too many not too many cut lunches were thrown. Did you have any Satana kicks up the arse?
No, I didn't have many Satana.
Didn't you abuse some like under 16 in the NEAFL that you were playing with? Someone wrote in and said you like
that was
yeah.
I think he was 14, but yes, I did.
But in saying that, can I just finish with that?
Yeah.
Rainsy and I are best mates.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, but that was probably what brought it out. It was so competitive that you're best mates and you just wanted to fight and you had that relationship.
It is hilarious, isn't it? You see some fun. I remember early days when I first came to the club, Angus Monfrey's Henry Slattery.
Yeah.
Those two would smack on every session.
Yeah.
And Slats was the quietest bloke off the field, and you get into a training session. No joke, I remember in one of my first sessions, and Gussie's come up and literally punched Slats right in the back of the head. I'm looking around going, the boys are going, like, this is normal. I was like, this is unbelievable. And no, still wrestling like school kids out the back and carry on. But yeah, you don't see too much of it these days, but there were certainly a few early days.
Pre-season's always a hot time. There's no games. It's always competitive.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Typically before the first round, like when it's winding up and
spots.
blokes are knowing that they're missing out or they're not close.
True. Yep.
So righto, let's
a lot
make
of tension in the room. Very true.
Yeah, Zach Fisher was living with me, who is one of my good mates to this day, and he was coming through, and I was definitely on the way out, and he was just 100% living with me, taking my position. But I love the bloke. I remember one day I just picked him up and just slung the living daylights out of him, and Bolts just came up and he's like, I think he just sent me off the track. Like, it was just like, get off. I don't know if it was because of the tackle or like the 15 missed kicks prior, but he was not happy, like at all. But so many little stouches with teammates. It happens all the time on field.
Well, it used to. I don't know whether it happens as much anymore,
maybe.
Dice. You're closer to finishing than what we are, but...
No, I certainly don't see it as much anymore. You do get the odd little wrestle, but there's no proper smack.
They don't build them like they used to, boys.
Yeah.
I think encourage it. I reckon it's healthy.
Yeah. Hey, we were chatting before about Port Melbourne.
Yes.
Now, one of our most loved people down there is actually down at Port Melbourne at the moment is Mark Murphy.
Yes, the Murphy.
What does he offer down there, man?
Yeah, what's he giving? Because he actually does some calling
know the
on
names?
ABC with ours really here, Brett.
Yeah, very good.
And he doesn't really get a word in too much because Brett tries to sort of take all the special comments. So is he getting some love down there at
Get his
coaching?
confidence up down there, training.
Also a Coventry teammate as well, the boy.
Yeah, true.
No, we've got a bit of a stacked lineup in the coaching staff, and Murph being one of them. But in terms of what he actually does, I can't give too much away there. He floats down. He's actually digging in. He's been to most trainings, most we say, every now and then.
He takes off early on a Thursday though, because he's got to come to the specials. So
Yeah,
He
true
could probably
that.
rock up at half time. I don't think he speaks till then on the ABC anyway.
He also had a week off in Dubai.
That's right.
So we thought, okay, if he's serious or not. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then game day rolls, I think he's been to a few games as well.
Oh, we love him.
We love him down there, Murph. His boys are actually feeding off his experience, which has been good.
Oh, he's got plenty of experience.
Yeah.
Melbourne, Collingwood. Okay, Melbourne defeated by Collingwood by 1 point. Bloody hell.
What'd you make of it, mate? Give us your rundown of the
Boring game, but very contested. It was like an old school winter sort of game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Muddy deck, bit of surge mentality. There wasn't much clean footy really going
I thought
on.
the D's took it up to the Pies pretty well. I thought they were right. I thought their ability to compete and choke up the Pies was. They're probably due, aren't they? The Pies, they're still getting the job done, but you'd expect that they may, and this might have been the one where they might have potentially dropped one, but they just find a way. Their last 5 minute role playing in terms of their ability just to execute. I mean, when you got side bottom Pendlebury out there and they're calling the shots.
It's crazy that they're still plugging away.
Oh,
They're
so
flying too, hey? It's
dominating.
nuts.
You get 29 and 7 or 8 score
It's
involvements
actually
yesterday,
wild.
Pendles.
Yeah.
What about the centre clearance he did, the sell the candy to Cozzy Pickett, dance out the middle, handball to Bo McCreary. And Bo McCreary has to be one of the most full-blooded humans I've ever seen. He is so erect and
He's
thick.
powerful,
He's
isn't
just
he?
so powerful.
Do you
Isn't he?
like the
Full-blooded.
man bun, or do you? I reckon he needs to shave it. I reckon he'd look even more erect. if he shaved it.
I don't know what he's got an interesting style. Might need to send him some H sort of stuff. I think he's sort of in Max camp with the trench coats and whatnot. But
I think he's got his own
He's got his own label. Him and Pulse.
Yeah, true that.
okay. So did you get your trench coat from? He's flat. He's upset. We're getting in the trench coat.
Mate, I'm not copping that it was bad. It looks good.
Have you dirtied up over the trench coat?
It was fucking good. I'll cop
His head down on his phone scrolling.
Sometimes I don't wear what's for everyone, but the trench coat was good.
You need to move on from the trench coat.
I'm letting it go, but I'll be wearing it. When the weather's cold, I'll be wearing it again.
When you guys talk footy and go through the games, he's on Snapchat all the time anyway. That's a pretty common occurrence.
Goodness gracious. There we have it. Yeah, so back to Pendlebury and
McCreary is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
and how wrecked he is.
Yeah, he's very erect.
That's his word.
I love it.
Pies are looking amazing at the moment.
They are. They're sharp, but they execute their roles really, really well. I think they're they're on top of the ladder for a reason. But what do you buy into the whole peaking too early theory, or do you think they're just good and they're just rolling along?
No, I'm not big on the old peaking too early thing. I think they're just getting it done, and games like that, like close games, it's like they just get it done, find a way. They're so well drilled, so disciplined in terms of the way they do play their role. So, they're in good nick at the moment, and it is hard to see them getting beat, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're confident. I've got some flowers to give.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, I've never probably spoken about this guy, but I was going to say I've been hard on him. I really haven't. Jake Melsham.
Melky, yep.
Mate, I must respect, and I love guys that just have that grit and they never give up. Like, I feel like every year for the last 3 or 4 years, and I hope this isn't disrespectful, but I feel like he's nearly been yes or no sort of staying on the list.
Well, he come off a knee, mate. He was on a 1-year contract, so yeah, you're probably right in your statement if you did your research.
No, I know he has.
But it's a good shout within itself. Like coming off a knee at 30 odd, and then
he just kept hanging on.
No, he has. He's done incredibly well, Melks. Yes. And he had, when I came, he was a year older than me. I played a number of years with him at the Dons, and he was one that I was sort of tried to tack onto, and the way he went about it and approached his training, and his craft is incredible.
Yeah.
So, he was a mid, got drafted as a mid, played a bit off half-back, wing, midfield, and then moved him up forward, later on at the Dons and primarily at Demons now, and his craft is incredible, like his body work. And,
he finds a way, doesn't he?
He finds a way.
He marks ones you don't expect, and he gets shots on goal.
Yeah, beautiful skills, sets teammates up well. So
he did a really good job yesterday on Darcy Moore, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like he defeated him a few times, which we know how good he is. But yeah, just one of those ones that we love. Talking about those guys that they just have grit. They never give up, and you can tell like people love playing with him, and there's a reason he keeps hanging in.
Yeah, he does.
Doing good stuff.
I want to give some flowers out to a guy that I just enjoy watching, this kid, Cozzy Pickett. I know everyone will be like, "Oh, welcome to the party."
I've heard of him.
Some of his goals yesterday, like the ball. Oh, exactly right, Link. That snap is just. He just finds a way, like the ball just finds its way through the middle of the goals. Even that one off the ground, it was just like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Playing some good footy at the moment, young Cods.
You just love seeing blokes playing with like pure confidence, though.
And freedom.
Bit like you in the Div 6 ammos the other day. Mate.
It does remind me a little bit of that. Yes, yes, it does actually.
And a little bit of flow state. There's a little bit of neeful in there. Bit of
neeful, bit of flow state. Yeah.
So nice, lad.
Yeah, so that's good. Hey, good to see Fritsch sort of start playing some good footy again too. Kick 3, which is nice.
Yeah, off the back of being dropped, it was nice to see him
respond.
He responded. He's come back out and kicked some goals.
He did.
They kicked better than last week, didn't they?
They did.
The D's.
What do you think of the tagging stuff with
Langdon?
Yeah.
On Dacos?
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Full on.
What's wrong with that?
Isn't it? No, it's just
he's been tagged, has he? Oh, please, cry
no,
me a
it's
river.
just it's a big tag. It's like one of those ones where he just wasn't even really going hard at him.
He wasn't going hard at him. He was
really going hard at him.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just saying it's good to watch.
We move on. Like there's something else behind that.
No, there's not.
Okay.
There's really not.
The reason there's nothing behind it is because he just like throws it out there and he wants me to elaborate
give
on
me
it.
something. Yeah. Brett, give me something.
No, mate, what? He's never been tagged before.
Moving, mate, I should get tagged all the time.
It's great. He is a freak, though. Like, it's in terms of like, you have to go. You have to go beyond your means. You do to try and literally stop him to pull it. It's more like get his mind off the game, right? Because the bloke's just a genuine freak if he gets near the nurry.
It doesn't happen enough, I don't think, in the game. Because everyone's like, the structures will get pulled apart and we'll do it. No. Ed Langdon showed that it doesn't happen. There's a number of teams that do it. But yeah, to Nick's credit, he still finds a way to contribute.
Who was the worst you copped in your day? You have any that was just like gritting on, scratching and slapping taggers?
Yeah, well, Krause was as good as there was in terms of just being he just not interested in getting the footy.
Yeah.
Who else did I have? Liam Pickham was pretty good.
Yeah, true.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
I got you good
tough
that
as
day.
nails.
You never had me.
None of him.
I thought it was Christmas when you come to me. I was just like, oh, here we go. How many watches do I need? I haven't got a big enough arm. Lingy was good because they were a good
I
side
got
too.
tagged a bit, the boy.
Yeah, no, mate. This is most weeks. We go through that question all
beautiful.
the time.
I think what Dyl was meaning with Dacos is Langdon was not worried about getting the ball himself,
Yes.
and he was purely focused on nullifying Dacos' impact.
It's really hard when
No
Brett's
doubt.
staring at you and you're trying to make a
I
point.
can
Yeah, he's
imagine.
just
I can
like-
imagine.
He's like, you don't fucking know. I was like, mate, I watched the game. I was watching.
Yeah,
You know, I told
think
Dimmer
Langdon
that
had
one day.
4.
I was like, you wouldn't know what it's like to be tagged, mate.
Oh,
He's just
So
like,
you're giving him.
Wow.
I don't mind it.
Wow.
I think he had 4 off the top of my head. Langdon touches.
Yeah, okay.
So he's basically just not even
Not
trying.
a bad game, if you ask me. Titty plays.
Oh,
that's
mother
not
roll
bad.
playing.
There you go.
Yes.
Moving on. All right, let's go back to the start of the week. We had
6 tackles.
Western Bulldogs versus Hawks at Marvel. Good game,
Yeah.
sort of. 81-59. Ed Richards. I love Joel Frazier. He's probably he's got a very big hump back. You see him run around, number 27. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to pump up the team that lost?
I'm just pumping up one player.
Yeah. I thought the Hawks were great, to be honest. I did this game on ABC. Murph wasn't there.
Dubai,
Back in Dubai.
He wasn't in Dubai. Rama was on there, and former Essendon great. Mate, I thought the Dogs on paper should have won this game. Their midfield stacked. I thought the Hawks a little bit undermanned, but geez, they come out and they had a crack. They out tackled. They had more tackles in the first half than they had in the last 2 games. Just about. Marbior Chol was great. If he was any more laid back, he'd be asleep. The big fella.
Unbelievable. Jolly.
Guinea. I've copped some feedback on Big Guinea. I had that in my notes to talk about. Now,
Yes.
I stand by what I said.
Did you see what Guinea did?
Yeah, the old candy back we talking. Yeah.
I did that in under 12s and my dad ripped me off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, probably because me and Jim are from the same, we're cut from the same cloth in that sense.
Yes.
Your thoughts on it, Dice?
Yeah, honestly, not huge on it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it, and I wouldn't be big on it as a teammate. But actually watching it as a fan, I'm also like,
I love it as a fan.
Don't mind it, like you know. But then one of the boys did it at Leongatha on the weekend. And I said, mate, I was like, you are finding yourself this week, that is for sure.
Yeah.
But look,
It's
not
funny-
part of my repertoire, but look, I don't mind in terms of the theatrics of footy and just fizzing the crowd up. So carry on.
So I said after I thought that he was being disrespectful to the game. I didn't like it, and disrespectful to the opposition. I still stand by that, but I don't. That does not take away from the footy that he's playing at the moment.
No doubt.
I just don't think he needed to show the ball to no one.
Yep.
I get that there was no one there, but I don't like the fact that you're sort of showboating on the way in the goal. But I also was like, well, mate, you're playing great footy. Just let that do the speaking.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And that's where I stood on it.
That's fair, mate.
But I got some, you're inciting violence, telling him you see him at the pub because of what has been said. I said, no, I said that I'd see him at the pub because that's where I'd find him pre-game because I knew that that's where he was last year. And I would still tell him
Try
that.
to
I
punch
said,
on
mate,
with him, Brett.
No, I don't want to punch on with him. I'd still say to him, mate, you're playing great footy. Just play great footy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about showing the footy.
Look, I disagree. I love it. I
You
think it's
love
good for
it,
the game
yeah.
these days. If I'm being on someone's team and you want to win a flag and be a bit more serious and more humble, yes, it's probably not a good look, but for the game, it's good. Yeah. He's actually a lot bigger than you think he is, Ginnivan. Like, can we get it? Is he 184, 185?
No, it wouldn't be 185.
I reckon he's
185.
There you go. On the button.
Jeez, you've done some research, have you?
No, I haven't,
Well,
mate. I
knock
just
me
have
over with a
very,
feather.
very good sort of can estimate very well. Yeah.
I tell you, but since being dropped, he has come back and he's performing.
He's gonna play great footy.
he's found a way. He works incredibly hard. Not the most gifted in terms of speed out there, but he works his ass off and he's got forward craft.
Yeah.
He's got footy craft.
I think he's had 50 and 5 over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he
It's
knows.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice stat line. He's
That's a big day.
That's bloody oath. He's and that's the thing. Like I think he's a confident character too, and he brings his own flair to the game, which we love. And even coming off the back of getting dropped, he goes back, buys in, performs really well at VFL level, and shows that he's he can be an elite AFL player. So
Yep.
put in the work. Well done, Guinea.
Hey, we don't always have Dice here, and I hope we do have more regularly, but I want to go back, Dice, and talk about a few people before we move on to the next game.
Here we go. All right.
So 2011, I got was my draft year, and a few names from yesteryear that I just haven't heard of for a while. But you come through the ranks with these guys, and then you're always sort of wondering how they're going and what they were like at clubs. So first pick that year, Elliot Kavanagh.
Yeah, Cav.
Do you remember Cav?
Yeah, I remember Cav. No doubt.
What was Cav like?
Cav,
he probably didn't end up getting to where he got to.
Yeah, no, as a first rounder. Look,
Brett, he doesn't like this chat. He doesn't like it.
Even though, have you heard of Cav?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure you're wondering how he's going. No, okay.
What were you played in the end?
How many?
Yeah.
A handful?
20 odd.
Probably 20 odd. Yeah.
Probably not 41.
Couple of
but
handfuls.
20 odd.
Yeah. No, he's Cavi. I don't know what he's doing these days. He got married a couple of years back, but he's cruising.
Played 12 matches.
There you go, 12.
12. There you go.
There you go.
I thought he had more than that.
Yeah. No, Cav was floating around early days, and he didn't spend a couple of years on the list.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Next pick was Jackson Merritt.
Jacko,
Now, this is really interesting because Jackson Merritt, senior, he was playing a lot of good footy early.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
And then his little brother came in. I go, they picked up his little brother just to help out Jackson. And then his brother turns into one of the greatest players for Essendon ever.
Yeah, literally.
Was that the consensus at the time, or did people know that he was like going to be better?
No. Look, Zachy come in as a bit of a chubby little forward flanker.
Yeah.
And then we're just saying, we've seen what Zach's turned into now from his pure dedication and his drive to bloody be the best. But Jacko, man, he played some great footy.
Yeah, he was very good. I remember Anzac days and everything.
No doubt. And one of those ones that like pure role player as well would do anything for the team. I loved playing with Jacko, so he was good. Gave plenty to his career, and he still gives Zach plenty of feedback from how he's going too. So
yeah,
Jacko's
I actually really like Jackson Merritt. Brett, you all right with this?
Yeah, go.
Keep going.
Proceed.
Keep smirking, mate.
Nick O'Brien.
Nobby.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Gibbon. What a
from
character.
Ballarat.
Yeah, what a classic. He was one of the all-time teammates.
Yeah.
He'd be one of those ones that if you needed a fizz up and a laugh, you go to the Nobby.
He's your one.
He's your one.
Yeah.
You give like the race calls and bring all the boys into it. And just
In the VFL,
good
where
fun.
I was playing a lot of the time, he was averaging like 50.
Yeah, could find the prune. And had like a real
Big boy.
just sloppy rig. Like no joke, would win our 2Ks every
really?
year.
Runner. One of those
He'd
blokes.
smack piss all off season and he'd win them every year.
Sounds
no
like
doubt.
Whitfield.
Yeah, literally. And then last was Stuart Crammery.
Yeah, oh man, all timer.
What's Stuart Crammery? Because the story of him getting married on grand final day when the Bulldogs are in it is up there
just
one of the
like-
funniest things I've ever heard.
It just sums him up beautifully though. Like Kramers is one of the all timers and genuine like character of a bloke. But had like zero clue about footy, but was so good. The naturally gifted athlete, like unbelievable. Would win, his bench press. I think he bench 150.
Wow.
Yeah, bench 150, ran a 2.820 and would like smack I think he ran like a 605 or 6 flat 2K. And then actually one year we did a 2K. Finished it, everyone's blowing, and then Hurdy goes, righto boys, back to the start line, we're going again. And I think Kramers nearly beat his time on the second 2K. Like, just stupid. He was wild that way.
Some of those athletes that you play with are amazing.
Can I insert myself here with the Cranberry story?
go on,
I
please.
actually played with him back in the under-13s many years ago. So his older brother, Justin, is my age.
Justin Crammery.
Yeah.
Good man.
Do you know him? They actually own Cranberry and Sons back in Maryborough, which is a big, I think it was like industrial sort of warehouse and all tools and that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure. Farm stuff, agriculture. But yeah, Stewie came in and actually filled in for us a few times because he was a young bloke, same age as my brother. So that's my insertion into this little.
Was he huge as a kid too? He would have been
he was well built. Yeah.
solid.
I
Yeah.
think.
Because wasn't he playing like twos at
He
Essendon
rolled through. We
VFL,
picked him up from
Bendigo
our
or something?
Bendigo Pioneers. Yeah, just snuck him from
The
there.
old
Do you
Bendigo
remember
goal,
Bendigo
was it?
Pioneers and Alec Magdon played
Yeah,
there?
yeah, true. Amazing. Yeah. There's some characters
some
rolling around in
random
the day.
chat, yeah.
No doubt. But anyway.
So we've gone from the Hawthorn Bulldogs game into
Well, we do
Maryborough
love our
second.
This is
niche.
your life for
we do
Essendon.
love our niche players. And just quickly,
Yes.
a couple more.
Go.
Kyle Reimers. Tell me about Kyle
Remo,
Reimers.
where are
like,
we?
who's your most three random
Like, he's
teammates?
random as can
he
be.
He had some great tattoos.
But what about this for Remo's? Like, no one ever wore pink boots, and Remo, I reckon, was one of the
he was
first.
onto it.
Flaming pink boots, and he kicked 8 against Gold Coast one year and took
That's
a
right.
monster hang,
Yeah.
and everyone thought, like, hey, this bloke could be anything.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, Remo, I reckon he nearly died in a pre-season training sesh one day. The vision is unbelievable behind the goals, and he's like passing out mid-drill. Oh, just shit like that, Remo. Genuine character, but yeah, full unit.
Does any other units remind you of someone like him? Like, who's your top? Like, you go back to two more just random.
No one
dudes.
like Remo. He's the rarest cat, but Nick Comer. He was a
yeah.
classic.
Oh, yeah,
I think he's the only bloke to ever be reported for slapping. He was slapping blokes on the field.
That's
he was so funny, Comsy. Oh, who else? He's one of the rarest. And then just like Piggy Hibbo was just a genuine piece.
Another teammate of ours.
There you go.
There
Look
you
at
go.
this guy.
Kabaddi comes up everywhere.
The Kabaddi team, we're reeling them off.
All right,
Yes.
moving on. If any players remind you of anything, you tell a story about them when we're talking about
Go
these
hit
games,
it, yeah.
okay?
Let's roll.
Adelaide, Brisbane. This actually was a very good game.
It was.
Brisbane probably kicked their way out of it. They had probably, 6 shots in the last quarter to nearly put themselves up. But I really like the Crom.
If you read the notes there, mate, it says 8. They kicked 8 points in the last quarter.
There you go.
Kicked themselves out
There
of
you
it.
go.
Yeah, Link's done the work for you. Crows were good. It was a win they needed to have, in my opinion. I thought to solidify themselves as that top 4 team.
Yeah.
Still, I've got those question marks because of the way the game finished. I thought Brisbane had control of it and their ability, or inability to convert, let them down. But, geez, I like the Crows. I think they've got some real weapons. If they can all fire together, they're going to be good. But they've got some match winners. Jordan Dawson made that big mark and goal in the
Stood
last
up
quarter.
late.
Yeah.
Captain's
Rochelle.
goals, I'd say, yep.
They would kick so many of them over the years.
Captain's goal.
Oh, wee.
It's
He's
huge.
a gun though, Dawson. Yeah.
I'd say my 2 players that I just like, Ben Keys.
Ben Cleans.
Ben Clean's far out, man. Like, I know we all know how good he is, how hard he runs. You can tell how much they love him, but he just looks like the ultimate teammate that you'd want to play with.
Yeah.
And he's just turned himself into an absolute workhorse.
Hasn't he ever, though?
doing so well.
I feel like I semi-feel like crew were writing him off early days.
Mate, Mick Barlow, in the first inception of this show,
Yeah.
because he was at Brisbane and Mick and I were playing in the NEAFL. Me, Ben Keys and Mick were playing in the NEAFL together, doing the rounds. Brisbane, Gold Coast and the Giants. Sort of, they called us the triple threat up there when you sort of playing. And I remember he got delisted from Brisbane and went to Adelaide. And Mick was, and I think Mick and I had been let go as well. And he goes, "How's this bloke the one that only gets like on?" And he's turned into one of the game's absolute greats. Rap for him.
No, absolutely, yeah, no, and as you say, like genuine, like plays his role to a T, but also impacts enormously. Scoreboard, finds a footy, plays. He's played a number of roles over his career, and now found a real niche in terms of what he can do. So
Yeah,
credit
Death
to
Valley,
him.
that
Is
high
this-
half forward's crazy.
Is his best spot on?
Should be.
Yeah. Rochelle had 10, didn't he? Yeah,
Kicked
he's
3
in the
goals.
best.
3 goals, 1.
Yeah.
He kicked some. Yeah, some.
Mate, I was about to say the next player, Brett. Did you watch this game? Did you watch it?
Of course I did.
Yeah, well, so did I.
Dawson was best on though, wasn't he?
But they've got Keezy, then Walker, who had 1, 1 and 8. Come on.
I don't know, maybe they're playing funny buggers with the best.
Come on.
That's
We
a
always-
bit of carry on. isn't it?
That's all. He must have made some great contests. Jeez, you played your role well, Tex.
Mate,
You bought a degree.
we always say the best is corrupt. Never read too
Mack
much
says
into
that.
it.
Isn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
He was the
He's still
seventh
upset,
best
he's still
every
upset
week.
about the trench coat. I think.
He'll be first best with that trench
Let
coat.
it go, Mac. Come
I was,
on now.
Yeah. I was in the best 2 weeks ago, so I'm
Wait.
all for the best. At the
Yeah,
moment.
that's it. What about for the weekend?
Rochelle, even though like he's at, is this too much to say that he's at Cyril impact? He can have 10 touches, kick
Cyril
3
level, you think?
on the week. Like he can really turn a game with 10 touches. Not many blokes can do that. So, besides myself in the NEAFL, I was going to say,
Off
but
the
at the
back of the square.
AFL level,
Yeah.
not many blokes can have the impact that he is at the moment with not much of the ball.
Yeah. Mate, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a couple of there are a bit skewy. I thought Dawson was pretty good.
He was held most of the game really, and then stepped up in
Keezy
the
was
last
good
quarter.
though, but mate, yeah. Anyway, we
Do you know any of those blokes?
Nothing for you on those,
No,
lads, to be
okay.
real.
Keep carrying on.
Brisbane's still rolling along very well though. Let's. I know
They'll be
they
fine.
were good enough to win that, and where are they sitting currently? Second, comfortably. She's a game and a half clear. The Pies going well.
Yeah. Hugh McCluggage, heard of him?
I have, mate. Yeah, he's a damn good player. We'll get his first All Australian this year, hands down.
Is it true he's had 4 squads? All
Yep.
Australian squads?
Yep.
That's massive.
Yeah, he's a big
Far
boy.
out. Yeah.
When were you
Give him the
AA?
Oh
nod.
no, was he last year? What was he?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Brett, AA, were you 14?
Pardon?
Were you 2014 as well, AA?
No, I don't even know if I was squad.
Yeah, no, you were a bit down that year, actually. That was the year I put you to sleep. Probably cost you. Sorry, mate.
McCluggage still hasn't made it. No.
Oh, I thought he
My
was
fault.
last year.
My bad.
No, that was my come to Jesus year, actually. I found Kane Johnson, great mentor of mine, and started meditation and all that sort of stuff and changed my trajectory over the next couple of years.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Should have told me about it.
I tried.
Moving on. Richmond, Sydney. This was one of the all-time bad games. I was trying to watch this one. I must admit it was pretty shite. I'll tell you what, that number 3 from Richmond, though, he wears it like no other. Dion Prestia. He's doing good things.
Isn't he? The little meatball.
Would you reckon he's one of the best number 3s at Richmond?
I would have thought, actually.
I don't think he had a touch in the second quarter.
Yes, but his on-field leadership was massive.
Yeah, he set the tone, did he? For their no scores in the second quarter.
Were you convinced by the Swans' win on this? Like it was wasn't great.
Look, if I'm being honest, it looks to me like the Tigers boys are starting to get a bit tired. They're a young team, and I thought after the week before, like they got really close to the Giants away from home, that they come back down here and they'll be like, they're gettable, so it's a free hit. Let's just throw everything at it. But the Swans needed to rally. They needed to find something, and obviously Coxie went pretty hard at them the week before after being pumped by 80 points or whatever it was against the Crows. So there would have been some honest feedback, some mouthguard sessions, no doubt. So no, I'm not convinced that Sydney's back by any stretch. They're playing against a team of kids, but I didn't watch a second of this game, to be honest. My daughter was playing the Brett basketball tournament. So
she's a good baller. They're calling her the next Caitlin Clark.
Bang. There you go.
not that she's not going to be big enough to be Caitlin Clark, but yeah, she's
dribbling well.
Goes all right.
she dribbles. Yeah.
How'd they go?
1-2, lost 3.
Oh, bugger. That sucks.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, we'll get back into that later. I appreciate that. On Aaron Francis. You had time with him at the Dons. Obviously, he's had a bit of a up and down career, and he's been super brave, taking some time away from football, come back. He looks like there's something there that's sort of brewing at the moment, getting a consistent run at it.
Yeah, no doubt. And Frank, he was he had some incredible ability. Like when he was at the Dons, his presence in terms of when he'd attack the footy, and remember him taking hangers at training and going, this guy could be anything. So, and as you said, he was one of the early ones to really speak up about his mental health and felt comfortable enough to have time away from the club to get himself right. And look, it didn't work out as well as he would have liked at the Dons, but he's found his niche up in Sydney and feeling really supported. And look, it's great to see him playing some good footy. So going well, the big Frank boy.
Surprised he's not in the best. 1 goal and 10 touches. I thought he might have snuck in.
Mate.
Watered the ground. Great contest.
He's a hard man, Brett, isn't he? He's very hard.
I'm just saying, mate, this is not an attack on Aaron Francis at all. It's just the best players. When you 1 goal, 1 and 8 touches, and you're in the third best player, please.
I appreciate that.
Yes, Fred.
Geelong Gold Coast. I must say, I love the Gold Coast jersey at the moment. They're wearing the pink. Do you like that, Heb?
Yeah, I
You'd
love
like that being a fashion man.
Yeah, I'm into that. Absolutely. I don't mind a little mix-up.
Geelong are playing good footy, Brett.
Yeah, they did enough down there.
They just get
tough
it done.
on conditions. I tell you, if we're going to throw out flowers, you can have the whole florist. Max Holmes, he was terrific.
Oh, yeah.
He missed his dash brother mate in Bailey Smith. So I would have thought if you're going to target anyone, it's probably Max Holmes. You say, well, he's the next best. But no, well, let's have a go. You just go and do your own thing. I know Dimmer doesn't like to tag, but 40 touches, over 800 metres gained.
He's filled them up.
Yeah,
40. That's
I've
good.
never ever had 40. Do you have 40?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yes.
I'm so glad I got that in. That's
so
nice.
good. Mate, this show's all about inserting yourself
love it.
into anything
That was
that
an
you
easy
can.
layup right there. That one.
You don't even need to. I
I
don't
think
want
I
to.
back-to-back weeks, actually.
Do you remember the game, Dyson?
Remember the game? I think...
I think.
it might have been 2014 v Cats,
In
maybe.
round 15, you are correct.
Oh, bang, there you go.
And then the week
I think-
after, he reckons too. Can you get the stats up? Give us a bit of
Actually,
link.
there's a bit in that because I reckon Cam Guthrie came to me and I gave him a bath and he tagged me in TAC Cup Grand Final, right, for Calder Cannons v Gippy Power, and he ripped me one in that game.
Really?
And so I owed him one.
Oh, I love this.
I'm going to say,
I love
I don't
this.
think Cam came to me. I'm going to say that.
Should we call him?
Yeah, go on if he's there.
I don't actually have his number. Damn. I don't have his number.
Dear.
We love calling people on the show too, just
I'll see if I've
randoms.
got his number.
So if you've got his number, see if you've got his number.
We'll see how we go.
Oh, Kim.
anyway,
I have
yeah,
his brother's
couple
number.
40s. Oh, dear.
That's good.
40.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the story, but didn't have 40 the next week.
39?
later in the season, you had 39.
Oh, darn. Bugger. Anyway.
Link, take that out.
Sorry.
Edit that out.
Yeah, we're getting edited on that.
Take that out.
Anyway.
What a buzzkill.
You know his number?
No.
Okay, damn.
I'll put in Guthrie and come up with Rob the pool guy, so not
Okay,
sure.
no.
We won't ring him.
Niche one here, but do you reckon Max Holmes, there's a bit in this, Max Holmes, Geelong, number 9. Who used to wear number 9 before him? There might have been someone in between, but who wore the number 9?
The 9.
Yeah, at Geelong. Think about it. One of your former teammates.
Not Brent Prismal.
No. James Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, Pops.
Yeah.
Man.
Do you reckon they somewhat look a little bit similar in the
He
face?
went as him to Mad Monday, I'm pretty sure, a couple of years ago.
There you go, that makes sense.
He went Mitch Cleary last year, and I
Apologies
reckon
to
the year
Pops, I
before he
should
went
have known
Apologies.
that.
He went
What's
Brett
Brett
What was Pops like?
All the
playing
time.
with?
Cleary. You guys-
But honestly, he's one of the, like, in terms of someone who came in 2016 when we had the year off, and Pop's just come in and the standards that he drove throughout that year to help the boys, unbelievable. And then he stayed on after that. So it was
good.
so good. And he's got that real just like straight down the line ability just to tell it how it is, does not care what you think. And he was
So
awesome.
it could be
Loved
perceived
playing
as an
with him.
asshole.
Could be, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he could not give a fuck.
Is he a larrikin too, or is he
Yeah.
more just pretty straight?
No, he's great.
Okay.
Got like dry sense of humour, and sometimes like guys are like not sure if he's being funny or not.
Yeah.
But I love the bloke. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We've got a good little crew that go on a couple little overseas trips and stuff at the end of years.
He's one of
Pop's
them?
One of them. Yeah.
Now, my eyes have just lit up because I've just realised you know one of my favourite players of all time,
Who we got?
Paul Chapman.
Wow.
Like, by far one of
Chappie.
my most favourite
Chappie.
players. I actually played on Chappie for Essendon once, and I was I'm not saying this, people think I'm
So
joking.
nice.
He is one of my favourite players
Yeah,
of all time,
mate.
and he's just so, you know, we were talking about before, Bo McCreary, full-blooded. Like,
Yes.
he's the
No, he's
most
erect.
thick, erect guy ever.
Yeah.
What was he like? What was he like?
Yeah, no, he was a character chap. He's when he first came to the club, he had pretty quick impact. He was
Yeah.
sort of kicked a few early, and I was like, this bloke, he's
You were in the number
unbelievable.
3, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the 3. And Chappie, but what I soon found was he didn't really like feedback, Chappie. So if he came up on the vision during the week for something that, you know, was not aligned to the team values, he would go hammer and tong to make sure it wasn't his problem.
Really?
And I just remember,
I love him even more.
Like, I remember sitting there in some meetings and Chappie's just digging a hole, and I'm like, you know, when you just start
cop it.
squirming
Yeah.
in meetings and you just sort of sink in, and Chappie's just going back at the coaches, and
So
I
Cha-
did love it though. But he'd be like, if he thought the coaches were carrying on a bit too much in meetings, Chappie would just be like, "What's this about?" Like he'd just be straight into it.
So he's blunt, like just as blunt as
as can
they
be.
come.
You
Blunt
need
as
those
can be.
blokes from successful environments
Yeah.
to say, no, we're getting bogged down in the weeds here.
Yes.
Let's focus on what actually matters and move on.
That's it. So you do need him. And I had a good. He had a good little trot with Chappie at the Dons. Enjoyed my time with him.
I love Chappie.
There you go.
I had Mitch on the podcast, Duncan, a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, you know, before we were talking about teammates going at each other and the famous stories of Chappie and Stevie J. Like, just they would just punch on all the time.
They didn't like each other, did they?
Well, I think they respected each other, but I don't think they personality clashes.
I don't think they catch up now for a few froths.
I'm not sure if they're in WhatsApp
Yeah.
groups,
I don't
but I actually don't know either.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
What did you make of the Tom Stewart bump?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, like, it was a very, like, I think I feel like the MRO and the AFL they're like trying to report him, but they're like, well, he's not injured. He didn't bump his head and
Hit his head on the ground.
Yeah, on the
So
ground.
if he's concussed and he hits his head on the ground as a result of the
He's
bump,
reported.
you probably think he's reported.
Yeah.
And I think, great bump. And I don't want to lose the bump, but it's like bumper beware. You know, you bump at your own risk of a chance. And I think that's what they'd be telling Tom Stewart. Is it worth bumping to potentially, if you get that just a little bit wrong,
Yeah.
out?
True.
It's
Because then you look at that Sammy Durham one.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't look great, but it's still, he's elected to bump, collects Chera high, 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah,
And if I think if Chera goes off the ground and he's concussed or spends a couple of weeks and has real problems with it, if he gets a different bloke, I mean, you're looking at 4 or 5. I would have thought, not just 2.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny. Like guys like you mentioned Durham and Tommy Stewart, like they are tough as nails.
Yeah,
And
I like
naturally,
Durham.
it's sort of
Yeah.
that's in their game, that real physicality.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you really don't.
That's
wanna
what you
lose
love
that,
about
do
Sammy
you?
Durham. He just runs straight.
Yep, no doubt. And their technique is actually spot on. But
Yeah.
it's all the Dozer one's a bit, just so when he's coming at his head,
Yeah.
you need to be very
Yeah.
wary
Yeah,
of those ones.
front on is
Yep.
a
No doubt.
bit harder. But the Tom Stewart one, God, he's running at a very high pace, trying to win a contested ball, and then goes, it's play on.
I didn't want to be Noah Anderson in that point. Like,
Nah.
that just looked like it hurt.
Tell you what.
Look at that.
But respect the
He's
fact that he
thick
got
set,
up and
Tom.
he,
Mate, he gets up, he gets
yeah.
it done. He's tough as woodpecker
Yeah.
lips, as we'd like to say.
There
Brett.
you go.
Feedback's a gift.
Good one.
Why is that feedback?
I don't know.
Happy with it.
This game, far out. Giants versus Port. I was going to call Caruso, Adrian Caruso, the head recruiter here, and get
Yeah.
half the team sacked halfway through the game.
Sack some. Who are you going with?
I'll leave that off, Mike, because I'm actually working. I think I might be working with their recruiting team this year, so I can't really talk about it live.
you?
Yeah.
You're gonna come down to the champs, are you, and start watching some
No,
other
more
ads?
list management, just delisting a few guys.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You got the red texter out, have you?
Yeah.
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 Any
And then
that
expert
just
in
jump out at you, or you,
Not on Mike, no.
No.
But Riccardi 2, Hogan 2. Like, did you see Toby's cork in the
Yes.
arse?
Nasty.
That is
that
one
was
of the
sniper.
all-time.
Yeah.
Should we call him?
cool tone?
Get him up.
See how he's going.
Yeah.
He's a tough as woodpecker lips, but he wouldn't like
One
that.
right in the arse, eh?
Yeah, it just looked nasty,
Yeah.
and he's trying to be brave, and he's like, oh.
Nah.
We'll get into him, so there'll be a bit of carry on in it.
And they really seize up at the breaks.
I'm pretty sure I saw tears.
He would have.
Yeah.
Oh, he might be at training, or he just
Leave him
hates
a
me.
voice note.
We'll call back. Yeah, I don't really have much for that game, but I will say Port Adelaide. What's his bloody name?
One of those guys.
Who you got? Give me something. Give us a position. Give us a
First year player,
hair
Yeah.
colour.
27, number 27. Played for Eastern Rangers.
Christian Moraes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like him.
First goal.
Yeah,
Came on as the sub, kicked his
I
first
like
goal.
him.
Yeah, gave a bit.
Yep.
Bloody oath.
player.
Good on him.
Thanks, mate.
Um,
I tell you, they had some really good players across the board. I thought Butters was terrific. His ability to zip in and out of
crazy.
traffic and then still find a way to hit a target.
Yep. That's
I thought Connor Rosie was pretty good off half back. My favourite player, though, for the day was Jack Buckley. I thought he was terrific down back. I thought he was unbelievable.
He's a freak.
He got his height matchups pretty right, I thought. He was back to back. And did you know that's how they work out who they
What
play
are
on
you
down there at the
talking about?
Giants?
What do you got?
No, they stand back to back. They get them.
no,
Come
you got to
off
give him
it. Come
context
off
of
it.
what. Who was it against that day that even came up with?
I don't know.
I was saying that Jack Buckley takes the tallest over
Right.
Sam Taylor.
Right.
And Brett just started saying, "What does Sam Taylor and Jack Buckley just go back to back and see who's the taller one?" And
Wait.
Hang on,
Not him. That one.
Oh, man.
Sam Taylor was also terrific on the night. He thwarted a lot of inside 50s, but ultimately they couldn't get it done. The Port side, and I don't know what's going on down there at the Giants at the moment. They were average last week against the Tigers, come home with a wet sail, but then for Port Adelaide to go to Canberra, home away from home, and get that done is that's a
Big.
concern.
long way from Port Adelaide too.
Not that far, but God, you throw out some junk. Port were good. You can't take that away from them. They hung in there and they kept competing.
No doubt.
Moving on. The game here, sorry, just moving my notes around here. North Melbourne versus West Coast at Hands Oval. Now, we have to give Mickey a call, don't we? Check in on him.
Yeah, well, it's pretty early, but
I've had that many messages from people living in WA down south saying that they've seen Mick running up and down the highway.
Really?
Yeah. He's a really good runner.
He's probably
Solid.
running right now. He's been doing like 6:30 starts in Perth, which would be now.
Nah, he would have planned it so that he could come on the show, I'm sure.
What's he doing? Is he training for anything or he just loves running?
He's just a freak runner. That's all right,
Does
mate.
anyone
Cool.
ever pick up?
Not often, nah. We're about 1 from 10. It's 1 in 10 chance.
Probably
of them picking up.
realistically 1 from 4.
Jake Stein picked up.
Jake Stein picked up. Remember Steiny?
Steiny?
Yeah, from,
There you go.
from the Giants.
Fair enough.
Do you remember him?
Nope.
big decathlete he is.
Oh, good. Oh, Matt Lodge picked up. Do you remember Matt Lodge?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Sweet.
He was a New South Wales scholarship
Okay.
player at the
So some
Still had the best
Rightio.
time ever talking to him. One
Yeah.
out.
Mate,
Me and Mick said he liked spare dicks.
They reckon it was the audience reckon me calling Matt Lodge, who, again, New South Wales scholarship player,
Yeah.
his goal was to play VFL whilst, because he was playing in the twos to get into the VFL, whilst most guys are trying to get into the AFL. But one of the all-time greatest blokes of all time.
Lodgy.
He got knocked out by an assistant coach at training.
And that's why we called him, because he got the knocked out.
So you had to reminisce.
Just
on
to
that.
talk through, yeah.
Wow.
And he also got knocked out by Andrew Walker in boxing as well.
Jeez, he's had a time. What a time in
You
the
know what?
league.
He had the best time of his life. He absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. See, Dice likes my stories.
Yeah, I'll get around.
He's just a nice bloke.
More Dice listening to stories.
Oh, dear.
North Melbourne, West Coast again. This felt like a bit like a NAB Cup game. Like, just out there. Didn't it? It felt like a bit of a JLG series.
Yep. Marsh, I think they're sponsored now. But
There
anyway.
you go.
Yeah, they just found a way. Geez, it was hard to watch early
It was a shocker.
this game. 17th
stunk.
versus 18th had its absolute best at times. But I thought the Eagles would get it done. Ultimately, I thought they were a real chance until the North boys rallied late. Zerha stood up late. Sheasel, who I want to give my 3.5, embrace the mid to, thanks to Carlton Dry.
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Sheasel. His last quarter, 12 touches, 2 goal assists. He just lifted and brought the whole side along with him.
He was also going to Harley as well, trying to nullify him in that last quarter as well. So he was doing it off him. He was getting very frustrated, Harley.
There you go.
Shout out.
Seems
Harry
pretty
Sheasel.
dialed in, Cheese. Seen a
Yeah.
couple of bits and pieces around how he operates, and
Very similar to yourself in the sense
I think
of
he's
the
next level. He sort of has a
Very
very
weighs the food and doesn't
Whole Foods.
leaves no stone
Yeah.
unturned. That boy, but credit to
share
him.
the
He's a
street
gun.
with Harry. He's just moved into my streets. I see him quite a bit.
What's the address?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
19. Fuck you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tristan Cherry is very good. I don't like Ruckman, but he's doing some good stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
And so, Carlton v Essendon.
I've got plenty on that game. Hey, tell us actually quickly about, did you have a year with Goldie?
Yes, did. Yeah, with Big Todd.
What was Goldie like?
Like he was, Toddy is a wise old man.
Todd the God.
Todd, yeah, we didn't call him that, but we'll carry on. He just keeps finding a way.
Yeah.
Like he rock up to every training session. He did his thing, and he just keeps trucking away.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a father figure around the group because he's genuinely a father.
He's got a
and-
few
and
kids,
old.
doesn't he? He's got like 4 kids.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of them, and even when he was at North, they were Bombers fans. So when he was at North, his kids would come to our
What?
Yeah, they'd rock up to clinics, and I remember seeing Todd.
That is hilarious.
On the fence, supporting his kids coming to our clinics. I'm thinking, what the fuck's he doing here? And then all of a sudden, we're playing with him. So a bit random, but yeah, big Toddy.
That is
Love
so
him down
weird.
there,
So
the Dons.
his kids were Essendon supporters,
Yes.
and he was taking them to Essendon clinics as a North Melbourne
Yes,
player.
they didn't. Yeah, the kids didn't want to bar a North, so he'd bring
Fair
him out,
enough.
bring him out to the Dons training sessions and the little clinics. So
That's
yeah,
how
classic.
humbling would that be as him, like...
Great for him though.
But
He'd
it's
get
awesome
around
from
it.
him. Like, I
Yeah.
don't reckon a lot of blokes would be like, no, you're not doing that. Whereas he's like, no, I love the
Yeah,
kids.
let's go.
Go and have fun. Go get some ground balls from Dice.
Guaranteed. So nice.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Good on him.
Going well.
Move on from that game. We'll see if Mick calls us back, which I don't think he will, but we'll see how we go. Hey, flowers to Zerha, though. Standing up again and
Big ball.
again. That mark and goal was pretty clutch. And
Yeah.
good on him for that. So we love that.
We love the bull.
Carlton Dons. Now, Dice, you and I played in a few of these. A few between us.
Look at us go.
I think I played in one.
Nice.
But, do you know what my actual memory is?
What do you got?
You should try and get this vision up.
Yeah, you
So
should. Everyone would love that.
they would. In my third ever game,
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
it was Carlton Essendon.
Yes.
It was a Friday or Saturday night at the MCG.
Yep.
And that was the game where I was lining up on Paul Chapman.
Yeah, nice.
I was going to Paul
You're
Chapman as a
buzzing.
halfback, just sort of
Yeah.
Oh,
just
as a
around
defender.
his as a defender, as a
Yeah,
halfback.
that's what you do at halfback. You're supposed to
Anyway,
defend.
just right him.
You didn't do it on me, I know that.
I was right. I was sort of zoning off as well. I was a bit before my time in the sense of zoning
yeah,
off.
gotcha.
And
Yep. Just
if
read
I say,
the play.
Paul, Chappie, you go up in the shit. I'm going to sit
Yep.
back here.
Leave him in the mess.
Yeah. And long story short, Essendon, you might remember the meeting, I'm not sure, but they were doing the player analysis and they Jason Winderlick was playing at the time.
Yeah, liquor, yeah.
And the whole fucking game, they were just going like, take him deep, and like trying to get me to be the deepest. And Jason Winderlich got me there in the square, and the ball gets bombed in, and he just fucking ragdolled me, took the mark, and kicked the ball over the line. And I was just, it's the most humiliating thing ever.
Because you know they've
gone, let's get him deep.
Team target.
Let's get him deep. It was head on a plate. Like, get this bloke deep.
I love
I found
that.
the game deal. Chapman kicked 4 goals, 3.
This fact, so good. And,
I wasn't actually
Dyl,
on him. It was a loose
Dyl's
tag.
stat line.
Whose? Dyl had 12. Okay, not bad. You had 28 in a goal, Dice.
Well, it's not a bad game. 28 in a goal. I'll take
12.
that.
No, you'd be in the best probably with
What
12.
they win? What was they win by?
138 to 57.
Wow, brother.
Yeah. Well, mate, how was I meant to succeed when that fucking shit's coming down?
Well, there's a
Talk
lot
to
of
Murph.
Hang on.
Get it out of the centre.
There's a lot of prune down your end of the ground
Yeah.
then.
So
and you
take some
found it
kick-outs or
12
something.
times.
I never got to say kick outs. Simo was doing that.
Yeah, true.
What did Simo have? 33.
19.
19, yeah, fucking 18 kickouts. Flog. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else was there. So Chappie kicked the 4-3, but that. Not sure if that
Heavy
really.
liquor kick.
I'm not sure if that really.
Winderlich 4.
Oh,
Cole Hardingham 3.
yeah.
I thought you had the reverse Coleman.
Gone from the rising star the week before
Yeah.
to that.
Okay. So it's real just humbling
Remember
moment.
Goddard was getting into me as well. He's an angry bloody bastard,
Yeah, he
wasn't
would
he?
be fired up,
Jesus
Beach.
Christ, settle down, Beach. Settle down out there, son. We're all friends. Any other stats
so
out there?
He had 20 and 2.
Who did?
Goddard.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
All right, moving on from that game then.
What about the game on Sunday night? How'd you find that, mate?
Boring. Not as good as the one back in 2015. That's for sure. No, that was.
Me and Murph did this game.
Yeah,
on
did you get a
ABC.
word in?
Yeah, we got Murph did a lot of speaking.
Does he give
was
a bit
great.
on
Murph-
radio?
Yeah, I try and wind him up about how terrible Carlton have been going, and
Good one.
they're just going. I think at the moment the Blues. I thought the Bombers were actually. You know, they came really late. Zachy Williams runs into that open goal and celebrated with the crowd. Didn't show the ball back towards the rest of the field, but celebrated with
Thoughts
the crowd.
on that?
I didn't have as big a problem with it
Fair
because
enough.
he was more trying to get the crowd involved. But then when they started coming, yes, and I was like,
dear.
geez, you better hope that doesn't come back
this
and
could
bite you
look
on the
nasty.
arse. I just can't see them. I don't know what they need, Carlton, in terms of adding to that list. I think I do know what they need. They need speed. And
They
I
need
think-
like a Max Holmes or Zach Butters. That's what they need. I think every team needs that, but they really need that.
Yeah,
Or a
because they've got
Heppell,
some inside
bit of
balls.
toe.
Bit of Heppell, bit of Aaron Heppell maybe, yeah. From Leen Gaffer, yeah.
They've
No
got some.
speed.
They've got some balls that can win it, but then their polish and that on the outside is where they let themselves down. So, DeConning was good. He 23, 29 hit outs. George Hewitt good again. I thought Sam Walsh was probably the best player on the ground though. He's got back to some of his best big contested numbers, but ran hard, delivered it pretty well.
Yeah.
And Nick Martin was pretty good for Essendon.
He's polished, Marto. He's having a season actually. He's going really well.
Jeez.
He's an incredible player, and also his footy brain is ridiculous. He'll be a coach at some stage.
Really?
Yeah, no doubt.
Just
How does
understands
someone
it.
like him go in the mid-season?
Yeah, it's
SSP.
wild. He's
SSP,
he was playing as a semi centre half forward over in the waffle. Like it was bizarre.
Now he's a mid.
Like genuine star and can play a number of roles. Half back through the middle. They've played him as a pinch hitting forward and just knows how to find it. Uses the ball well.
Thoughts on his hairstyle?
It's doing a bit.
Looks like an accountant to me. Like really,
Mate, that is so good because he's genuinely starting to be an accountant.
Is he?
Yeah, that is nice from you. And Brad often refers to him as the accountant. So very good.
There you go.
There you go, Brett.
Yeah,
Oh, geez,
good to
good
see
on
Das
you.
Parish back at it.
Yeah,
yeah. Das back in amongst it, finding the prune as he does and
Remind me
contested
what
numbers.
What did he
Calves.
have? Calves.
Yeah, calves. So
geez. We've been
he's
there, Brett.
he's
He didn't
grown
reach
away.
out.
Last few weeks in the VFL and great to see him back out there. So
Yep.
he'll find his polish soon enough. But look, it was great to see the fight from the Dons though. Like a number of times they responded.
With
Started
some- a
obviously
lot of
very
outs.
poorly. Yeah, with some big outs clearly.
Six goals to one in the first, so
yeah.
that's a fair lead to try and rein back in, and they lose by 8 points.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a nasty start, but to grind back, it's just like, I just love showing the fight and a bit of character in the group. They're
100%.
great again last week against Brisbane. So, they're obviously not getting the chockies, but soon enough it'll come if they stick for that.
One of our good mates, Dyl Shield.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Sheely of late? How's he been going?
Dill's he is incredible in terms of the way he just keeps showing up. He's had he's going through it at times in terms of in and out of the team. And earlier this year he was incredible, like playing some of his best footy through the middle. And all of a sudden he's found himself out of the side, but the way he handles it is just amazing. So. He's matured so much in a way that he's just trying to help the young boys around him, puts a lot of time into them, and got a mad respect and love for Dyl, and he's still in a really good space, and he's a carryover on the weekend, so I didn't play in the twos, but
in terms of he was disappointed about that, I would imagine.
Yeah. True. But he's still having a good dig, and look, he's got enormous amount of footy ahead of him, I reckon. So if he gets himself a sniff back in the team, it'd be good to see.
If it's not at Essendon, like you'd be stupid not to have it. If its side needs some speed and power, like he's still got that.
No joke.
I'd say the best junior I've ever seen.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. We'll roll back. Played against him at Tooradin. I was playing for Leongatha. He was playing for St. Bede's, I think it was, in the day. And I think he had about 45 and kicked 4 maybe in a school game. I think he was 11 and I was 12. Yeah. And I rocked up to the game in all my Team Vic kit and fucking thought I was a king. And Dyl gave me a bath.
How much do you love running the old Vic kit when you got
I'm going, yeah.
Do you know what we should do one day? Because Mum's kept all my stuff.
So
I've still got my Team Vic tracksuits.
I reckon Mum's still got mine too.
We should wear them in one day, Team Vic.
It's so funny thinking we
Team
used
Vic
to run that
socks
shit.
and the shorts.
The bag, and you just like...
But as soon as you saw someone wearing them you could tell you're like... You ain't in fucking Team Vic. Because you sort of know everyone that was doing it around your age. So you're like,
classic.
What was it, fucking badminton or something? Like, you knew the footy ones that weren't there.
doubt.
I'd wear the socks on a daily.
Socks
Would
are
you?
elite.
Oh, yeah.
So nice.
I should love the jacket. Just
Oh.
a little flex. When you roll into school, no one else had one.
Oh, the jacket's a bit loud.
That's
I think
very loud.
the shorts were like, I forgot my school shorts. Got to wear these ones. Sorry.
I think I took my bag to school.
Yeah, the bag was great.
The sling over.
Yeah, the bag was fantastic.
Classic. I'll have a go
Send
at
us in, by the way, guys, because there'd be a lot of people out there that listen that were in the Team Vic at some stage.
Absolutely.
Send us in your best Team Vic flex.
Yes.
Like where you wore your Team Vic.
Yeah.
Like
That's nice.
huge. And is it as big in like WA or SA? Like, was that a big thing?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I never had the pleasure of that.
What do you call it there? Team WA or what? Like,
Called it the WA
The
state
Swans?
team.
yeah. Sand gropers.
Oh, he's in the state team. Like,
Yeah,
you just roll-
state
you just
team,
roll
WA
that.
state team. Do you remember that Link? I don't think you would know this, but there was a guy when we were playing state that, again at that age, like Dyl Shield, 15,
Caliber.
under 15s,
Yeah.
caliber. So you remember those under 15s,
Yeah.
like schoolboys, then the under 16s
SSV.
was Did you do schoolboys and then the other one?
I reckon I didn't do 15s, but
You didn't do, well, that was the one that's not really that.
Yeah, we
it's
left that be.
I think it was picked by like parents, but anyway, I was still in there.
I don't think
got me
it
in.
was.
The 15s one wasn't as
That's the natural progression, mate. It went under 12s, nothing for a couple of years, then under 15s, then you go to 16s.
No, I know,
So
but-
that's when it becomes aligned with the AFL.
Yes.
Yes.
The 16s,
So
the 16s
15s
comes
is still
along with
school.
AFL.
Yep.
15s is school. Yes, correct. Okay. Anyway.
So don't poo-poo it. Like,
Well, I was in it. I was in it, mate. I'm just poo-pooing it. I was in it. So I'm poo-pooing myself. Okay. And there was a guy named Jacob Burnham that played for WA. Do you remember that name?
Burnham.
Okay.
Righto.
That's so fucking niche. No one would know that. But we swapped jumpers.
Bang.
And I thought he was going to be like the best player in the world. All the WA guys used to wear the zinc, and I was like, they're so cool.
Really?
Oh, that's
I thought
cool.
they were floggy.
Jacob Burnham played 35 league games for Swan Districts.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
him. Yep.
There you go.
Good player. Good bloke. Good bloke.
Yes. Huge.
I also played against Rory Laird. He was for SA
Nice.
and under 15
Yeah.
schoolboys.
I played against Big Clokey. He was in there.
Travis?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Who was in your state team?
Oh, we had a crew. I reckon Ben Jacobs was our skipper.
Yes.
But he was the
Oh, you
same
had a
size.
great year, Ben Jacobs.
He was the same size he is now,
Yeah.
Benny Jacobs. I reckon he kicked 12 a game at the carnival. No joke. He, genuinely, what do you got for me?
Do you remember? I was about to say because you were Vic Country.
Yes.
Do you remember the game where?
In 16s, yeah.
No, 17s.
Did you
It
see
was
a bloke
18s.
cutting oranges and
18s,
running
yeah.
around
Would
there?
have been 18s.
18s
Vic Metro.
Country.
I'm trying to remember.
There's a guy running
Where did
forward.
18s Country versus Vic Metro play?
The G. No? Yes. Marvel. No. It was here somewhere.
Icon.
Was it at Icon? I don't think I played in it, to be honest. Anyway, I think I was running water. All good. Doesn't matter. Don't worry.
You
were
That's a
injured.
shit story. No, I was trying to get to the point where Ben Jacobs had like 45 one day at in SA against SA, and I was running water.
He was trying to insert himself.
Oh, no, he did have 17 kickouts.
Yeah. Like
That
Dave
is true,
Simpson.
though.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
but it's
about
all going his fucking way.
that. Good tack. That competitiveness is still
I know,
there.
He's dominated. You go, fucking
Kick out, Zach.
Come on.
Fucking flog.
Oh, dear.
What are your thoughts on the current setup with all these blokes that are padding stats in terms of kickouts? Phil Davis raised a good point many years ago. He thought because you're allowed to just run out of there and you get a stat, if you wanted the stat, you have to kick it to yourself. If not, doesn't count.
Okay.
So then you know the blokes.
Yeah,
that
That's
wanna
a
get
great
the stat.
shout from Phil. That'd be very funny to watch.
I like that.
You know, he's the blokes who are just like, I'm getting one.
No doubt. But at the same time, like kicking out from full back, if you are efficient and you're sort of damaging with it, play on every time.
Yeah.
Get yourself a stat, no doubt. But I reckon the guys that kick the chip to the pocket, and
Yeah,
get
take
over
one step out of the square,
I
and then
love those
kill-
ones. Yeah, and it ends up going 10 metres and just play on because you've stood out. And
Yeah.
it's sort of a bit of carry on that. But anyway.
It's like, oh, geez, he's going well. He's averaging 28.
Yeah.
Oh, well, come on.
Having
mate,
said that, when I was down there, I'm stepping out
every
time.
time.
Every
Yeah,
time.
well, wouldn't you? Because everyone else does
Guaranteed.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, just on the Dons before we leave that game, because this would be good to chat about. Two things. One was actually fuck the other one. Leadership meeting that you had down there at that was cool.
Leadership meeting, no, it was just
Just to catch up with
catch up.
Yeah, so you had Hurdy,
Lloydie,
Lordo,
yep,
yourself, and Zach,
Job.
and Job.
So I had a bit of a crew. Yeah, no, it was actually.
What'd you talk about?
Mate, we were just chewing the fat. It was I'd spoke to Junior a few weeks earlier, and he's always keen on just like catch up.
Junior? Sorry, just
Zach.
Junior.
Junior Merritt,
Junior
Jackson
Merritt.
being
Yes, senior.
Junior.
Yes.
Yep, so Junior.
I didn't realise that was actually a thing.
Yeah, and Hurdy, it was actually Hurdy's idea. He sort of rallied us all together, and you caught up at the Gilson, and of all joints to get paparazzi'd, it's probably not the spot because it's very popular.
Yeah.
And and anyway, we did actually see the cameras across the road in the park, and I was semi like, just fucking wave for me,
Yeah.
come and get some better vision, bro. Come on now, I'll let you know what we're talking about. But no, it was just an awesome catch up, and just sort of we heard a lot about Lloydie's time down at Hailbury and how they're going and how good of a coach he is. So the Lordo's got him dialed in down there. But no, awesome to catch up with the crew, and it was more just for Zach to share anything he wanted, and the guys sharing any wisdom or knowledge they wanted to help him with. So,
But it also came about the same time that Hurdy was being flagged as the next coach.
yeah, great timing.
Yeah,
that.
wasn't it?
Yeah, the media love playing
Yeah.
into a story.
That would be. That's not true, is it?
Well,
not
that
for
I
me,
know of an
no.
Arch James if
Didn't get it,
you gunning for it. But
I don't think he'd
He,
go
he
back to the
denied it.
Dons.
He
but-
denied it.
Yeah, nah.
He's
doing
this
well
is
in
not
the
actually
media at
great
the
for
moment,
it's not
Jim.
great for my business.
Yes.
There's a number of
Oh,
people
yeah,
that
true.
are saying, mate, what are you doing? We're invested with you, and now you're going
Yeah.
to leave to try and be a coach.
He's locked in at Port Melbourne, the boy. He's
Yeah, exactly.
having a good crack
Yeah,
down
That's
there
what he
with the
said.
boys.
He's
Guaranteed.
enjoying coaching his son down there and having a good time with you
No
boys.
doubt. Yeah, loving it.
And then lastly for the Essendon fans, Elijah Sardis. Because I think this guy can be anything. I know there's obviously deficiencies to why he's not playing in and out of the team, but what is that internally? Like, how does he play consistent footy?
Yeah, I'd say he's one of those ones. Lige he puts in the work,
Yeah.
and he's improved a lot. Actually, he's we obviously all heard about his pre-season form going really well, and he actually made great impact at AFL level early in the season. And
Broke his finger and it cost him a
yeah,
couple of
look,
weeks.
and this is the thing. That's just the opportunities that arise, and he certainly took them early. And then look, he's filling the stat sheet week in, week out at VFL level. Gets tagged as well, so he's getting great opportunity there, and he'll be ready to go. So he's going to be one of those ones when he gets his chance again. I have no doubt he'll impact. And
Hard
he's
to come on and do it as a sub, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
no, it's a
make an
tough
impact.
ask that, no doubt, absolutely. Yeah.
Last one in, first one out,
Yeah.
essentially. But yeah, I like the kid too.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot to offer. He just needs to. I think his kick's probably the thing that lets him down. If that's up and flying, then that's no worries. But from talking to Big Clokey about it, he said that he's doing a power of
He
work.
does an insane amount of work on his kicking. So he's one of those blokes. He'll put in the time, put in the reps, and he'll reap the rewards at some point.
You know, it's a danger when that kicking thing gets labelled to you. Is
carry on
it
sometimes.
it's like you're never going to get away from it. You know, you just get labelled something, and then at the moment, I can imagine all he's doing is focusing on his kicking.
Yeah.
Like in all seriousness, I've been there in those sense of like someone tells you you're not good at something, you just practice that the whole time.
Yeah.
He just needs to also remember why he's an AFL player,
Yes.
why he was a pick 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever he was. He's obviously an absolute superstar. He needs to focus on what he's really, really good at and just bring that as well.
Guaranteed.
And show a little bit of faith in him. Give him 5, 10 games in a row. Like you see what Collingwood have even done with even our boy, Eddie's obviously deserved his time there and playing, but they almost bring players in and give them period. And I know you probably have to be a good team to do that.
Not
but-
necessarily, no, because
No?
I think they've done that with Archie Perkins. Like, he's got 90 games to his name now. Where
Does he really?
He played some okay games, I reckon, last year, maybe a little bit the year before, like chips in, but I reckon he's the one who needs to really take his game to another level for Essendon to go.
Honestly, Perko could be anything, that bloke.
He could, mate,
his
he's so
skill set
powerful.
is
Yeah.
incredible.
So powerful.
Yeah, no
Friend of the
doubt.
show.
There
Is
you
he?
go. Friend of the show, love that.
Yeah, we like him.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
you like him. I was going to say, 'cause he's never been on.
No,
Archie
honestly.
Roberts has, who wears Dyce's old
Yes,
number.
my boy Robbo. Nah, Perko, yeah, as you say, could be anything, and and he's one that like you'd love to see bit more time in the guts and let him go to work grinding away in there.
Well, you got to give him that time and have patience with him getting it 10 times, sneaking into the best.
But it's amazing, like with guys, you just want to feel the love, don't you, and a real sense of belonging. Like if you feel backed in and supported by your coaching staff, you're gonna give more, and you're gonna
100%.
get the best out of yourself. So, you just want to see the boys get
Hard
a
to
good.
Give him
do that
some
when
bloody
you're losing.
hugs, boys.
Flowers.
Come on,
Give him some
coaches, Give him
flowers.
some flowers. Isn't it
flowers.
interesting? I don't want to do a deep dive into the list management at Essendon, but you look at a lot of the top picks that aren't really playing at the moment. Mm-hmm. So you go like Sardis. I mean, Nick Cox. I know, is he injured?
He's had his what issues? Yeah,
Issues.
Concussion.
Yeah, concussions.
Yeah, obviously that sucks.
Reed, Hammy.
There's a few high picks.
Lewis
but then you
Hayes
look at
got a
those
knee.
SSPs and mid-season like Durham and Nick Martin who have come in and been like two
genuine
absolute
stars.
A-graders in
Yeah.
the competition. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible how it does work, doesn't it? So sometimes guys just take their chance,
Yeah.
and interesting how guys, the better the level, the better they go.
Yeah.
You know, they just rise
A bit
to
like
the
myself, I
occasion,
actually
sort
found that I always played
That's
best at
not
the
true.
highest level, except the Essendon game with Chappie and Winderlick. How is Winderlick, by the way? Have you spoken to him?
Liquor. Yeah, no, he's
on
on the mend. Yeah, no, that was a nasty one.
was scary.
The poor fella. Yeah, no, he's but the support and the love that came in post that was amazing. But yeah, he's getting there, the boy.
Good on him. Good on him. Send my love.
Did you ever embrace the mid for this week?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Was there?
My Carlton dry 3.5 embrace the mid this week is actually Willie Rioli.
Why?
He's been obviously a bit of a up and down time with everything, but I really liked him on the weekend after a big win up in there in Canberra. Big fan base. I didn't realise how big his fan base was up there.
Huge.
They had to wait for him to sing the song because he was out there signing signatures around the boundary, which we love.
Yeah, we love
Give
that.
back to the community.
Yeah.
Big
Good on
fan
him.
base out there in Canberra.
Yeah, embrace the
At
mid.
Manuka. Embrace the mid.
Well, why not, mate?
Guys, so we've been embracing the mid. Have you got a Carlton Dry 3.5% for the official beer of the AFL from Lee and Gather on the weekend?
Down the Parrots.
Could be anywhere.
Yeah, Red Bear down the Parrots.
Yeah.
Tag Sparksy, who was Wonthaggi's best player.
Fantastic.
Red Bear had 38. I think he kicked one.
Gee, so he's doing a job and also
did
impacting.
a job. So did a bloody good job, the boy. So Red Bear, there's my Carlton mid for you.
Fantastic. Hey, Brettles, it's been good to have you.
Thanks, mate. Good to be back.
Dice, I'd love to get you in, mate, as many times as you like. You're welcome. Also, we should tee up this H collab with the trench coat with Mack. If we
Mack
want to
Daddy?
get that done.
Shall we?
Yeah, I'm happy to, but
We better run it by H, man. I reckon.
yeah, true.
I don't know if he's going to be huge on Max Kid, but we'll see how we go.
you just don't see it.
So good. 3 weeks, some stuff drops, so we'll make sure we get some stuff and put it up for you and make sure you go
true.
check it out. It'd be nice to have a website with nothing much on it at the moment. That's good by you.
Yeah, there's a bit going on. It's been good. Support
Fantastic.
has been incredible. But,
Yeah.
no, you'll love it, mate.
How is
It's been
Big H man going with it all? He's loving it?
Going well, the boy. Had a recent eye operation, so he's going through the ringer there. But no, he's plugging away. He's got his state cross country coming up on Thursday. Going to run that with him.
Yeah.
He's done the school, the regional, which he's in the multi-class category, which he had actually no one else running against him. So he got the chocks.
That's good.
So
Good way to
he's
win.
2 for 2, 2
Yeah.
medals. Now he's going to state.
Yeah,
He
good
might
start.
have his work cut out, but we'll see how we go.
And got opponents at state?
Well, we'll see. I don't know, he might just go through to nationals. TV.
yes!
Oh, that'd be so
fantastic. That'd be great.
Get him
All
a
right.
H team vid.
Yes.
Hey, I like that.
That's huge.
Let's watch that. Hey, this episode has been thanks to our good mates at Carlton Dry, the official beer of the AFL. Go and follow us on everything. Follow H Label. We'll put that all in the link in the show notes. Dice, everyone else. And thanks for your time, mate. Appreciate it.
Happy days. Thanks,
Great,
boys.
mate.